Setting up this camera angle was so difficult. Bro, what the heck is that? Alright, that should be much better. Let me record this in case for some reason it doesn't transcribe or whatever. So I guess we're running into the conflict, the difficulties of being a short-term creator or a long-term creator, or like a long-form creator. Um, I guess it's so difficult seeing everybody else around in my space, in the plumbing space, where they're getting tens of thousands of views on YouTube, whatever the case is, right? YouTube's the main platform that I want to build on, but it's so difficult because it's difficult. It's YouTube, whatever the case is. But Instagram, I feel like it's just this dopamine rush on Instagram where I'm getting millions of views, which is wonderful. Thank you, Jesus. We're getting millions of views. A lot of people can't even say that. There we go. A lot of people can't even say that. They're sitting there and they're like, man, I'm only getting 500 views, 5,000 views. But I guess getting every single brand that I use, that I like, that I will endorse, it was so hard to get them to respond to me on Instagram. Instagram, the main one that got me big was this video right here, Tough Built. Um, all those tools that I made, all those tools, it's not even a review. They didn't even pay me to do it. I was just like, let me go and showcase this tool that I use every single day that I think that my viewers would love. 40 plus million views on that specific tool, right? Did not transcribe into followers. People are just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But then somebody on YouTube commented and they said, hey man, we like the tool videos, right? But I didn't subscribe to you to be a tool review person. You're young, you're a plumber, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just elaborating, I'm just putting words in his mouth, him or her mouth. Pause. And I guess that hit deep. It hit home run where it was like, I don't want to be known as the tool review dude, right? Like the tool review plumber. I started social media because I wanted to showcase skills, showcase solutions, right? Problem solving, and just explaining whatever it is that you guys have questions with, or whatever the case is. And then I fell into the trap of short form content, which that being Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, not so much. TikTok can go suck whatever. I don't know. But that all being said, I guess now we're wanting to switch things up into where we're shooting more long form videos. I'm not gonna lie. Today's Monday, July, whatever. My phone, the other phone's being used as a phone stand. It's. I was supposed to make a video, right? A video just regarding the day, and I slacked off. Whatever it is. It's. I can't even sit here and say it's embarrassing to pop out a camera or I'm shy, whatever it is, because I be doing it, to make short form videos. I'm doing whatever. But for some reason, I'm just like, the whole editing with long form, I'm like, I don't know if this is even going to go anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But I guess we have to sit here and say, who cares? Who cares if it goes somewhere or if it doesn't? All I care about is getting myself out to you guys. I'm not promoting, the brand that I work for, or the company that I work for, which is Everest Plumbing. I might have to blur that out. Hold on, wait, let me see. Which is Everest Plumbing. Great company. I love them. But that's not my brand. That's not who I am. That's not what I want to be known as. I want to be known as a young Texas plumber. That's my whole handle. Anywhere you look me up, anywhere you'll find Young Texas Plumber on everywhere. Even look me up on Clash of Clans. For all I know, I might be on there. Who knows? But it's it's very hard not to compare yourself to everybody else. For me, not to compare myself to everybody else. Like, I look at people, like, let's say Roger Wakefield. He was the main person that I looked up to before I even started plumbing. He's one of the reasons why I got into plumbing. And I think, he's awesome at what he does. I'm not going to throw shade at him. I know that there's a whole community out there just bashing on him. But I'm not going to sit here and do that. The dude is the reason why I do what I do and why I love what I do. I would have been stuck at a desk doing computer programming, praying to God that AI doesn't take my job sooner than later. And, we're about to come up on our second child coming up 2027. It is amazing. God is great. But I don't think that I would have been able to support such a family I don't think I would have been able to support a family off of hopes and dreams. That's why I established plumbing. Now we're moving on to bigger and better things, which is social media. So when I do, or if I do, start my own business, like plumbing company, I want to have it established where I am known. I don't want to be known for short form content. I don't want to be known for long form content. I want to be known as Young Texas Plumber for the time that I am young. For all I know, by the time you know it, I'm 40 years old. I'm not a Young Texas Plumber. Oh, by the books, yes, I'm Young Texas Plumber because the average plumber is like 60 years old, something like that. Man, old heads. No, I'm just playing. But, they're old. Then what? I pass that handle off to my son. God willing, we have a son. Pass that on to him. And then he becomes Young Texas Plumber if he wants to. I'm not going to throw shade if he wants to do something else. It is amazing what God has blessed me with, what God has blessed my family with. And I think it's awesome the traction I gained off of Instagram and the other platforms, except TikTok. Screw TikTok. But I know that there is other adventures elsewhere, that I am not just made, or I'm not here just to be a short form creator. Like this, who knows if anybody's going to be listening to this, but I don't know, how do I want to say it? Like, what makes me keep thinking that I'm not good enough for it? That I'm not going to gain traction, that people aren't going to watch my videos. They're watching Joe Schmo in India doing whatever with no shoes, socks on. Man, that's awesome. He makes great content. I want to be like that, where I create content and people enjoy it. I don't want to just create content and it's boo-boo cheeks, But something has to change. I have a Sony camera. Look, let me pop this sucker up. Because I ride around with this sucker, and I've been riding around with it for over a year. Look at this. Sony camera. It's a vlogging camera, ZV-E10. Shoots 4K. I have this one, this lens, and a different lens that has, different whatever. I bought meta glasses so I can film content. I even bought like the Insta 360 Go, whatever it's called, to give that one to a buddy of mine. But all that, and I still make excuses. I even bought a not new, but it was newer than what I had type of phone, just so I can create content, long form content. Yet I still make excuses. That's why I need to get my ass up and actually create content that you guys are going to love, that you guys are going to like. So I guess that being said, if you've even made it this far, I might even cut this and like put it in the front, because I know the attention span right now isn't the best. But I'm just speaking from the heart at this point. Like, I don't know. I guess there's dreams, there's hopes, there's things that I want to do, and content creation is one of them. I started that when I was, what was I, like 14, 14, 13, started trying to make videos, doing whatever, and always made excuses. Now I'm at the point, look, I got a DJI mic set up. It's being used as a stand. Look at that. DJI mic setup. I have this one, the other one, and the transmitter right there that's attached to my phone. I bought that like 2 years ago. I wanted to be a content creator, like do big. I was like, oh, I need the best mic, blah, blah, blah. And then I never used it. This sucker's almost like new. I only used it maybe 5 times, 6 times, whatever it is. And I guess now we're actually going to start using it. And I don't know if it's a video going to be before this or after this, but you'll see me using it somewhat out in the field. Something has to change. And it goes with everybody's life. Something has to change in your life to where you're actually wake up in the morning and eventually you'll feel good about yourself. You know, it's hard. It really is in life. When you're so comfortable in the mud, you're so comfortable sleeping in. You know, I still struggle with that. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm everybody else, that I wake up at 4 o'clock. No, I don't. You know, I mean, I do, but that's because my child needs me. You know, she's waking up in the morning, she's hungry, she needs to be changed, whatever the case is. I know that I'm called here on this earth to do something. I don't know what it is, but everybody has to find their what is it. You can't sit there in life and just be average. You can't sit there in life and be comfortable. You'll be comfortable. Yes, you'll be comfortable, but you'll never grow to where you want to be. You know, I don't know. I do know. I don't know why I keep saying I don't know. I'm assuming it's because I'm just scared to say it, you know, but life is risky. You listen to Toji. I don't know if any of you guys in this that's watching this ever listen to him, but the book of Toji, you listen to that, that is where you'll get a lot of inspiration from. I listen to that. That's a downloaded video on YouTube on my playlist. I listen to that sucker when I got no Wi-Fi, no internet. I'm stuck in Mueller or whatever. And man, it changes your perspective on life. Yes, that was before he found Christ. That was when he was a big drug addict. But somehow he still made that video and it's a banger. I guess I want to be in a sense like that, where I'm making videos to where I'm able to inspire the youth. I'm able to get people to be like, I want to be a plumber. I want to chase my dreams. I want to do this, but you can't chase your dreams when you're making nothing. Now, if you have no overhead or little to no overhead, chase your dreams. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you think is best. But if you have a family, you have a lot of overhead, you really have to think about it. You have to plan everything out. Like content creation. I know I keep going back to it, but there's nothing I'm really spending except my time. While my baby's asleep, my wife's asleep, I'm editing, I'm making videos, I'm watching people's videos that are in the trades that I think have really good videos. And I'm like, what are they doing that I can be doing as well? Let me implement this in my next video. But again, a lot of it is short form content. I cannot be just a short form content creator. We're going to have to do long form. I'm going to have to put a pause on the short form content because none of that is translating into anything. I'm not getting anything like people calling the company being like, oh my gosh, I want Julian, blah, 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 he's a rock star. Whatever the case is, or even, I don't know. Scratch all that. Yes, it has been beneficial. I have gotten brands reaching out to me, wanting me to showcase videos or whatever, showcase their product. I've gotten people messaging me saying, hey, I want to do plumbing. Thank you for making this video. Or I'm on the journey for starting plumbing. Thank you for inspiring me. And I'm going to continue and go at it. Awesome. That is wonderful. Keep on going. But for the meantime, I guess just look out for the videos. I don't have a schedule yet or anything, but let me know, please, down in the comments. What do you guys want to see? What do y'all want to see more of? What do y'all want to see that other plumbers are not doing or other tradespeople are not doing that y'all want to see? I know a lot of them are not talking about prices. They're not talking about how much they make. I'm an open book. If you want to know anything and everything, I'm willing to share that. But I'm not going to jeopardize, of course, the company. I'm not going to jeopardize my family just for y'all or whatever. Just to tell you guys something and then there goes, whatever. But everything's legal. Everything is out there. You just have to ask, let me know, and I'll make a video about it. But that being said, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And y'all have a blessed one.